How exactly does a firm under perfect competition maximize its profits? We take a look at the profit maximizing rule here. And a firm is going to maximize profit by producing at the point where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. And that's the simplest thing that we can say. Where does our marginal revenue lie? If it's exactly equal to our marginal cost, then that firm is going to be profit maximizing. So we always want to be at the point where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. So do keep that in the back of your mind. And this profit maximizing rule is under perfect competition, but we're also going to see the same exact rule in our next market structures as well. So MR equals to MC, exactly where these two are equal with one another, where these two curves intersect with one another, that is going to be our profit maximizing point. So take a look at this chart right here where we have marginal revenue and our marginal cost line. Remember, we talked about marginal cost in the previous chapter, and we have a U-shaped line right here indicating what we sort of laid out in that particular chapter. Our marginal revenue line for this particular firm is horizontal. Remember, demand equals to marginal revenue equals to price. Based on these two curves right here, what is going to be the profit maximizing price and profit maximizing output for this particular firm? In order to see this, we just want to go ahead and see where marginal revenue and marginal costs are going to intersect with one another. And these two lines, they intersect at this point right here. And you can go ahead and find out what the output is going to be. So the output is 84 units. So we can say that Q star is 84 units. And the price is going to be $60. So pretty close to $60 right here. We can say that's going to be our P star. But we can also use a little bit of intuition to see why this is going to be our profit maximizing point, these 84 units. Why wouldn't the firm want to operate with 83 units? Why wouldn't they want to just produce 83 units of this particular good? And the reason for that is because the marginal revenue is higher than the marginal cost. It costs them, say, about $50 to produce this particular good, this one additional unit. But if they sell this particular unit, they're receiving $60. So there's still some type of profits for them to be made right here if they sell one more unit. They sell it for $60, but it only costs them $50. So there is always incentive for them to have more profits, more revenues by them producing one more unit of the good. So anytime marginal revenue is greater than marginal cost, there's always an incentive to go ahead and produce more. Why wouldn't 85 units be our maximizing quantity? Just for the opposite reason. It costs the firm $80 to produce this additional good, but they're only going to be receiving $60 if they do sell it. So it costs them $20. They're losing $20 on the sale of this particular unit. So therefore, it would not incentivize them. It would not behoove them to go ahead and sell 85 units. So therefore, MR equals to MC is going to be our profit maximizing point in this example right here. It cost them exactly $60. They're going to receive exactly $60. So therefore, we know that MR is exactly the MC. In this example, though, however, do we know for sure that this firm is going to be earning profits? Yes, it is the profit maximizing point, but can we know for sure that the firm is going to be earning some type of positive profits? And with the setup that we have right here, we can't necessarily say whether or not this firm is earning profits because we need to introduce our other cost curves as well. So let's go ahead, take the same exact graph that we have right here, but add in our average total cost and our average variable cost. I told you that these curves would come back to haunt us, and they exactly do so here. And when we draw in these additional cost curves, we're able to go ahead and see if the firm is going to be earning profits, losses, or zero economic profits. In this example, we notice that the firm is earning profits. And why is that going to be the case? So doing this graphical analysis that we had before, we noticed that the profit maximizing price is going to be $60 and the profit maximizing quantity is going to be 84 units. And we have a new equation right here for profits. It's price minus ATC times quantity. So essentially total revenue minus total cost in this instance. So we want to go ahead and find what average total cost is, and we notice that the average total cost is about $50 in this instance. So because the price that we're receiving for selling this good is greater than the average total cost, for every unit that we sell, we're earning a profit all the way up to 84 units. Essentially, we're making $10 worth of profit for every unit that we are selling. So first step is to go ahead and find the intersection of marginal revenue and marginal cost. Find the profit maximizing quantity is step number 2. Finding the profit maximizing price is step number 3. Step number 4 is to go ahead and find the average total cost. We notice that if ATC is lower than our profit maximizing price, we should be earning a profit, as we are in this situation. And then final step, step number 5, is to use this equation right here to find the full amount of the profits. So with all of this in mind, this will segue us into exactly how much profits the firm is earning. So let's go ahead and use this equation right here and the specific numbers that are being provided to us in order to find our profits. So let's go ahead and use these specific numbers and insert them into our profit equation to find the very specific number of the firm's profits. And there's actually 3 different scenarios a firm can find itself in the short run. So generally, let's go ahead and talk about these 3 scenarios right here. So short run scenarios, we'll label this short run scenarios. Short run scenarios. So scenario number 1 is a scenario that we see right here where price is going to be greater than ATC. So price greater than ATC. And anytime we notice that price is greater than average total cost, we immediately are going to be led to some type of profits. So here, this is the scenario we find ourselves in currently. So once again, we have the equation for profits, which is profits equals price minus ATC times quantity. And using the numbers that are being provided to us, we can just go ahead and insert them into the equation right here. Our price, our profit maximizing price was $60. Our ATC was $50. And our quantity was 84. So going ahead, simplifying this as much as we can, we get 10 times 84. So the firm is going to be led to $840 worth of total profits. And as we said before, if we go ahead and distribute this Q out to the other terms right here, we get the secondary equation for profits, which is total revenue minus total cost. So profits also equals to total revenue minus total cost. Remember, price times quantity, that's going to be total revenue. And from the equations that we had in the previous chapter, remember we had ATC equals total cost divided by quantity. If we multiply Q on both sides, we get ATC times Q, which equals our total cost. So remember, there are different equations that we have for profits, but they lead us to the same exact answer. And if you want to go ahead, find the total revenue minus total cost, you just distribute this 84 out to both sides, and you still get the same exact $840 worth of profit. So here, we'll do it the long way. Price times quantity minus ATC times Q. That's total revenue minus total cost. And then you go ahead and insert the profit maximizing price, quantity, and ATC. So 60 times 84 minus 50 times 84. Don't forget to distribute this negative over because that will matter. $5,040 worth of total revenues minus $4,200 worth of total cost. And once again, this will give us $840 worth of profits. So once again, using the same sort of numbers right here, just with different equations to give us the same exact answer. So once again, anytime price is greater than ATC, the firm is going to be led to some type of short-run economic profits, and that's going to be perfectly fine in the short run for firms operating under perfect competition. And this area right here is exactly that $840. With all of this in mind, there is a 5-step pattern for maximizing profits, and we will be using this over and over and over again. So I want you guys to get as much practice as you can. Step number 1 is always to find the point where marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. So find this intersection. That's always going to be your starting off point. Step number 2 is to go ahead and find the optimal Q star. So what is the profit maximizing output for this particular firm? In order to find this, you go straight down, all the way down to the output axis, the quantity axis, and you'll be able to find out what that is. So step number 1, find MR equals to MC, and at that intersection, step number 2, find Q star. Step number 3 is to find the optimal price. In order to find that, you go straight to the other axes to find that price. So in that case, it was the $60 that we labeled before. Remember that you're always going to be able to read price off of the demand curve. So wherever the demand curve is, you just go straight to the demand curve and you'll be able to find price. Step number 4 is to find the ATC. In this scenario, we notice that the ATC is below the price, which led us to having profits. But sometimes the ATC might be above our profit maximizing price or exactly at that profit maximizing price. And those are the other 2 scenarios that we need to get into just a little bit more. However, if ATC is below price, we know that we're going to be led to some type of profits. And then final step right here, step number 5 is to profit. And that's going to be price minus ATC. The ATC number is going to be read off of the ATC line. You just go straight to the price axis once again. And then once you insert these numbers into the equation, price minus ATC times our quantity will give us the area for our profits in that very specific number. So once again, use this 5-step pattern for maximizing profits. We will use it again in the next 2 chapters. So get a lot of practice using it, and be sure to identify the intersection of MR, MC, our Q star, our P star, and the ATC as well. And you'll be good to go for all of these problems. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the next 2 scenarios that the firm can find itself in the short run in the next videos. I'll see you guys there.